The stage gleamed under the glow of polished studio lights, every corner of the set meticulously arranged for the high-profile interview. Audience members filled the rows, buzzing with anticipation as cameras panned across their eager faces. There was a sense of charged electricity in the air, a collective awareness that what they were about to witness might not simply be another celebrity interview, but a clash of two powerful women with reputations for speaking their truths in very different ways. Tamron Hall, composed and confident, settled into her seat at center stage. Her presence was magnetic. She radiated calm authority, the kind of energy that made viewers lean in without realizing it. Across from her, Meghan Markle adjusted the cuff of her perfectly tailored outfit. She looked poised, every strand of hair in place, but behind her controlled expression lay something harder to contain, a simmering tension that the audience could sense even before a word was spoken. The applause died down and the cameras locked in. Tamron leaned in with her signature professional poise, her voice measured yet sharp enough to cut through the hushed silence. Tamron, Meghan, many people still question your decision to step back from the royal family. Some say it was about independence. Others suggest it was about control. Which is it? Meghan inhaled slowly, her chin lifting ever so slightly. The glare of the lights caught the edge of her profile, emphasizing the steel in her eyes. Meghan, I've said it countless times, it was about survival, about protecting my family. I don't owe anyone further explanations. The crowd stirred, low murmurs, shifting bodies, even a few raised brows. The words hung in the air like a challenge, daring Tamron to push further, and of course she did. Unflinching, she maintained eye contact, her tone steady and deliberate. Tamron, but Meghan, don't you think people deserve transparency when you've profited from telling your story in so many ways? Meghan's jaw tightened. For the first time, her carefully controlled composure showed cracks. Meghan, that's unfair, Tamron. You wouldn't understand the kind of scrutiny I've endured. A ripple of discomfort moved through the audience. Some leaned forward, enthralled, while others exchanged uneasy glances. The tension between host and guest was no longer subtle. It had taken form, heavy in the room, impossible to ignore. The opening minutes of the interview had become something more than a polite exchange. It was now a standoff, and everyone watching knew it. The silence in the studio grew heavy, almost suffocating after Meghan's pointed remark. The camera zoomed closer, capturing every flicker of emotion that crossed her face. Tamron, still seated with her back straight and her hands resting lightly on her cue cards, didn't flinch. Years of live television had prepared her for tense moments, but this one carried a raw edge, a dangerous unpredictability. She shifted slightly, her voice cutting through the charged air with precision. Tamron, I understand scrutiny. I've lived in the public eye for decades. The difference is I answer tough questions. Meghan, every time someone challenges you, you deflect. Gasps whispered through the audience like wind through trees. Meghan's lips parted, her posture changing as she leaned forward, closing the physical distance between them. The temperature of her tone rose, her words sharper now, each one striking like an arrow. Meghan, excuse me? I will not sit here and be disrespected. You have no idea what it's like to be silenced, to be targeted just for existing. A hush fell again. The audience was spellbound, some clutching their seats as if bracing for impact. Tamron's expression didn't waver. Her calm gaze seemed to challenge Meghan's rising storm. Slowly she arched one eyebrow, her voice steady but edged with firmness. Tamron, with all due respect, Meghan, you haven't been silenced. You've had global platforms, best-selling books, documentaries. That doesn't look like silence, it looks like amplification. The room reacted instantly. Gasps, a few murmured, oohs, and the unmistakable crackle of live drama that no one could look away from. Meghan's hands clenched in her lap, her knuckles whitening as she fought to maintain control of her composure. Her voice, however, betrayed the heat of her emotions. Meghan, so you brought me here to attack me? To get ratings at my expense? For the first time, Tamron's cool demeanor slipped, her words sharper, louder, carrying the authority of someone unwilling to back down. Tamron, I brought you here to have an honest conversation. If you can't handle honesty, maybe this isn't the place for you. The weight of her statement reverberated across the set, pressing down on every person present. The studio lights felt hotter, the silence thicker, as though the walls themselves were leaning in to catch the next words. The clash was no longer just an interview. It was a battle of wills. Live before millions. The studio air crackled with unresolved tension, the kind of silence that wasn't peaceful but strained, as though the room itself was holding its breath. Megan's face was flushed with frustration, her eyes narrowed in disbelief. Without warning, she pushed back from her chair, the sharp scrape of its legs against the polished stage floor, echoing like a shot through the quiet. "Megan, I don't need this. I came here in good faith and you've ambushed me." Gasps rippled through the crowd, some viewers leaning forward as if afraid to miss a single detail of what was unfolding. Megan's movements were sharp, decisive, her heels striking the stage with the clipped rhythm of anger barely contained. For a moment, the cameras caught the glint of her jewelry as she gestured toward Tamron. Her entire frame brimming with indignation, Tamron remained seated for only a beat longer, her eyes following Megan with measured calm. Then, with the weight of authority that had made her a respected figure in broadcast journalism, she rose gracefully but firmly, standing tall. Her voice, though steady, carried an unmistakable finality. "Tamron, Megan, if you can't respect this platform and the people watching, then I think we're done here." The audience erupted into whispers, the collective noise swelling like a wave. Camera operators scrambled to capture both women in frame, their lenses darting back and forth between Tamron's composure and Megan's fiery exit. Megan stopped only for a second, her eyes flashing as if she considered replying, but the words never came. Instead, she pivoted sharply, her coat flaring behind her as she stormed off stage. Each footstep echoed in the tense silence, a sound more powerful than any rebuttal she might have offered. The heavy studio doors swung shut behind her, and just like that, she was gone. All eyes turned back to Tamron. She adjusted her stance, her voice returning to its professional steadiness as she faced the cameras. "Tamron, ladies and gentlemen, live television is unpredictable. We wish Megan well, but here on this show we value truth and accountability." Applause rose hesitantly, then louder, as though the audience was unsure if clapping felt appropriate after such a spectacle. The set lights glared bright. The cameras continued to roll, but everyone knew they had witnessed a moment that would dominate headlines for days to come. The clash was over, but its reverberations had only just begun.